What's going on, guys? Krusty K's here from the Gold Boys Network, coming to you with the MLB slate preview for August 26th. Before we hop into this one, I want to remind you all you can get all these odds at FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's jump into this one. First one, we have the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Boston Red Sox. Yariel Rodriguez versus Cutter Crawford. It's going to be the Red Sox for me here. Yariel is a guy who, if you've been paying attention, he's been walking a lot of guys. And in this one, you're getting the Boston team, who, while they're striking out quite a bit, they've done a pretty good job of laying off pitches outside the zone, and I really think it sets up for a rough outing for Rodriguez here. Going off of that, if he's putting guys on base, you're also facing a Boston team who's crushing righties as of late. So really just sets up as a really tough matchup for him. Really think Cutter Crawford can pitch well against a Toronto team that I frankly don't think is very good. So give me the Red Sox on the money line here. Our next one, the Kansas City Royals taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Cole Ragans versus Nick Sandelin. So Cleveland obviously going with a bullpen game here. Not sure who's going to piggyback off Sandelin, but I do think Cole Ragans pitches relatively well. He gets a Guardians team who I think he could take advantage of. But for me, I lean the Guardians. I think the Guardians are one of the best teams in baseball, and I think you see that here. Like I said, I think Ragans pitches relatively well. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a lower scoring game. But for me here, it's got to be the Guardians. I think they get this one done. Next one, the Chicago Cubs taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jameson Taillon versus Mitch Keller. Give me the Pirates. So get the Cubs on the road here. Obviously, we talked about it a few times this season. They're considerably worse on the road, and I just think Mitch Keller pitches really well in the spot. Jameson Taillon's a guy who hasn't been very good away from home, similar to basically the entire Cubs roster. And I just think getting the Pirates at a minus 110 just feels like a good price. I think Keller can get it to their back end of the bullpen with Aroldis and Bednar, and I think they put it to rest here pretty easy. Give me the Pirates at a very playable minus 110. Our next one, the Houston Astros taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Ronel Blanco versus Zach Wheeler. It's going to be the under for me. So originally I wanted to go to the Phillies. I really did. But I'm just going to back both these guys to pitch well. Ronel Blanco, it's not a guy that I love, but he continues to find ways to have success. And I think against this Phillies team, who's been a bit all over the place lately, I think he has a lot of success. I think Zach Wheeler pitches well against the Astros, who are currently playing in Sunday Night Baseball, which is always a fade spot for me in terms of the offense in the next game. So give me the under 7.5 here. Our next one, game 2 of the Kansas City Royals and Guardians. Alec Marsh versus Logan Allen. It's going to be, I'm going to isolate the Royals team total. Really just a fade of Logan Allen. This is one of the guys who I have faded pretty much every start he's ever made. He's absolutely terrible. Game 2 doubleheader always lends to runs anyway. So give me the Royals to do some damage here. I think Logan Allen, for a short period of time, he led the league in home runs allowed, but obviously he's been sent down a few times. So obviously not leading that category anymore, but he's up there. You're going to see why in this one. Royals probably score 5-6 runs pretty easy. Our next one, the New York Yankees taking on the Washington Nationals. This is Nestor Cortez versus Mitchell Parker. It's going to be the over for me here. So Nestor on the road is a guy I love to fade. We talk about that every time. He just can't pitch away from Yankee Stadium for whatever reason. You get a Nationals team who, while the bats aren't great, they are better at home. And I do think they do some damage here against Nestor. Mitchell Parker, he's a young guy who I've backed a couple times. This is just a really brutal matchup, though. His pitch mix, it really hasn't been great. His swinging strike's been pretty low. And against the Yankees team, who really has done a pretty good job of not expanding the zone and kind of just waiting to swing at pitches that are actually in the strike zone, I think they can get to him pretty easy here. I think this thing likely soars over. Total's at 9.5, pretty high total, and I think it's still too low, frankly. Our next one, the Toronto Blue Jays take on the Boston Red Sox. Game 2 of their doubleheader. This is Jose Berrios versus Nick Pivetta. For me, it's going to be the Blue Jays on the money line. We all know that I love to back Berrios. It is no different here. Game 2 of doubleheader, maybe we see some tired bats, whatever you want to call it. But I think Berrios can handle this lineup. I think Nick Pivetta gets absolutely shelled by this Jays team. He's a guy who we all know the K stuff's there. Also going to give up a lot of hard contact, though. So I like Toronto in game 2. You're getting him at plus money right now. I think it's a great price. I think it's a great spot. Like I said, with backing Boston in game 1, pretty hard to win 2 games, so I feel pretty good about going with 1-1 here. Toronto winning game 2. Our next one, the Atlanta Braves taking on the Minnesota Twins. Max Fried versus Bailey Ober. It's the Twins for me here. The Braves on the road, not a team I love to back. Offense been a bit inconsistent. Michael Harris got hurt again, so he'll likely be out, which they were kind of seeming like they were kind of getting it going, but losing him again, obviously going to be a big blow because he's sort of, the straw that stirs the drink, if you will, in my opinion. especially with Acuna out. So Max Fried, obviously, we all know. I mean, since he's come back, he hasn't looked the best. Giving up a lot of hard contact, and I think this Twins team can do some damage against him. So we'll go with the Twins of the money line here to -115. Our next one, the San Diego Padres taking on the Cardinals. Padres have not announced a starter yet. Cardinals rolling out Kyle Gibson. It's going to be the Padres for me here. Kyle Gibson, we all know he's going to give you 6 innings. But unfortunately for the Cardinals, he's going to give up probably 5 or 6 runs in the process. Regardless of who the Padres put out there, I just think they're a team that's making the playoff push, trying to get in. Obviously in the NL West, they're up there with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. All these teams just keep seeming to win. And I think the Padres are going to keep it rolling here and try to make a case, down the stretch.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the Goal Boys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the Goal Boys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Our next one, the Detroit Tigers taking on the Chicago White Sox. Ty Madden versus Davis Martin. This is a gross game. One of the games I really honestly wanted to skip. I'm going to go with the White Sox in the first 5. I like Davis Martin. He's pitched pretty well for his White Sox team. I think his changeup plays extremely well against this Tigers lineup. And we get the White Sox here to +0.5 at playable odds, even against a Tigers team who, in my opinion, isn't that much better. So give me the White Sox in the first 5 +0.5 here. Our next one, the Miami Marlins taking on the Colorado Rockies. Edward Cabrera and the Rockies have yet to announce a starter. This is a gross one. Edward Cabrera, I like his strikeouts at Coors. I think his stuff plays well regardless of where he is because he throws so hard. So I think his strikeouts are in play. I was trying to give you guys something from this game in terms of a side or a total, but man, oh man, I lean the Rockies, but I don't have a starter, and I couldn't find anything about who they were going to put out. So I don't love giving that. I'll say Rockies for now. If I change my mind, I'll post it in the comments of the video. But we'll roll with the Rockies solely because we all know Cabrera. He's going to get his strikeouts for sure. But we all know he's going to put guys on the bases. We see it time and time again. Just struggles with command, even against teams that don't walk. He misses his zone with a lot of non-competitive pitches. If you're putting guys on, the Rockies do have a few guys who are swinging the bats pretty well. Doyle and Blackman seems to kind of have a bit of a resurgence going here. So I will go with the Rockies on the money line for now. Hey guys, I just want to give a quick reminder that new users can bet $5 at FanDuel on any of the bets in this video and win $150 in bonus bets if the bet wins. Now let's get back to the bets. Our last one, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Seattle Mariners. This is Ryan Pepiot versus Bryce Miller. It is Seattle for me or nothing. Like Bryce Miller a lot. I think he absolutely mows through this piss poor Tampa Bay lineup. We've seen this lineup pretty much since trade deadline. They absolutely stink. Metrics stink. Lowest in chase contact, zone contact, chase rate increasing exponentially. This team is just a team you want to target to fade, truthfully, down the stretch. I don't know if they just don't care anymore or what, but the at-bats don't look good. The only guy really not striking out right now is Yandy Diaz, which even he's susceptible to a K from time to time. So for me here, it's the Mariners. I think Bryce Miller absolutely shoves. Pepiot, I think he pitches well too, truthfully, because the Seattle team is nothing to write home about either. One of the lowest batting average teams in all baseball. So for me, I think the under's in play, but I just really like Seattle to really get the win here ultimately. That does conclude the slate, though. If you guys do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys are playing. I've been MIA for quite a bit. Just had a lot of life stuff going on. Happy to be back, though. Hopefully get through a full week of videos and keep the content rolling out. Before we hop off, though, I'll give you guys my 3 best. It's shorter slate, so I'm not going to go with 5. We'll go with 3 here. So number 1, we are going to go with the Red Sox on the money line in Game 1 of that doubleheader. Number 2, we are going to go with the Cleveland Guardians on the money line. And number 3, we are going to go with the Twins on the money line. So those are my 3 best bets. As always, you can get all of my official plays at goalboys.com. If you have a gambling problem, don't want to hurt a gambler. Thank you, guys.